Imagine waking up on the biggest holiday of the year, excited to rush downstairs to your tree, only to find absolutely nothing. No presents, no food, no decorations, literally nothing but hooks and wire. That is the nightmare scenario we are diving into today with the classic book How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. This isn't just a story about a burglary. It is a deep psychological dive into a character who is completely isolated, emotionally stunted, and determined to ruin joy for an entire population just because he can't understand it. It is wild, it is petty, and honestly, it is a little bit heartbreaking when you really think about it. So the story opens in a place called Who-ville, populated by the Whos. These guys absolutely love Christmas. I mean, they are obsessed. But just north of Who-ville, living in a cave, is the Grinch. And let me tell you, he is the complete opposite. The Grinch hates Christmas. He hates the whole season. Now, you might be asking yourself, why? Who hurt you, Grinch? Well, nobody quite knows the reason. The narrator speculates that maybe his head wasn't screwed on just right, or perhaps his shoes were too tight. But let's be real, those are just excuses. The most likely reason of all is that his heart was 2 sizes too small. That is a serious emotional deficiency right there. So it is Christmas Eve, and the Grinch is standing in his cave, staring down at the town with a sour, Grinchy frown. He sees the warm, lighted windows, and he just seethes because he knows everyone down there is busy hanging mistletoe wreaths. He snarls about how they are hanging their stockings because tomorrow is Christmas, and it is practically here. But here's what really grinds his gears: the noise. He anticipates that the next morning, the kids are going to rush for their toys and make noise, 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 noise. It drives him absolutely bananas. Then, after the noise, the Whos sit down for a massive feast. We are talking Who pudding and rare Who roast beast. And if that wasn't enough to make him snap, afterwards, everyone, tall and small, stands hand in hand and starts singing. They sing, and the Grinch has put up with this for 53 years. 53 years of festering resentment. He decides, right then and there, that he must stop Christmas from coming. And this is where he gets an idea, a wonderful, awful idea. This guy decides to pull the ultimate identity theft. He laughs in his throat and crafts a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. He looks in the mirror and thinks, with this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. But he needs a reindeer. Since reindeer are scarce, he can't find one. Does that stop him? No way. He grabs his poor dog Max, takes some red thread, and ties a massive horn on top of the dog's head. Poor Max. That is just mean. The Grinch loads up some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, hitches up Max, and they slide down toward the sleeping town. It is dead quiet. Everyone is dreaming sweet dreams without a care. This is the perfect setup for a crime spree. He hits stop number 1, climbs onto the roof, and slides down the chimney. Now, the book notes this is a tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, so could the Grinch. He gets stuck once, but pops his head out into the room where the stockings are hanging. And get this, the first thing he says is, "These stockings are the first things to go," cold-blooded. Then he goes into full vacuum mode. He slithers and slunks around the room with a creepy, unpleasant smile and takes everything. We are talking pop guns, bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. He stuffs it all into bags. Then, and this is physically impressive, he stuffs all the bags up the chimney. But he's not done. He raids the kitchen. He takes the Who pudding and the roast beast. He cleans out the icebox so thoroughly that he even takes the last can of Who hash. That is just petty. Who steals a single can of hash? He stuffs the food up the chimney and then turns his attention to the Christmas tree. He grabs it and starts to shove it up the fireplace, but suddenly, twist, he hears a sound like a coo of a dove. He turns around, and there is a tiny little Who, Cindy Lou Who wasn't more than 2. She caught him red-handed. She stares at him and asks, "Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" Now, this is a major red flag moment. Most criminals would panic, but the Grinch is slick. He thinks up a lie on the spot. He tells this sweet little kid that there is a light on the tree that won't light on one side, so he's taking it to his workshop to fix it and will bring it back. He pats her head, gets her a drink, and sends her to bed. He literally gaslit a toddler. Once she is gone, he stuffs the tree up the chimney. The last thing he takes is the log for their fire. He goes up the chimney himself, leaving nothing but hooks and some wire on the walls. The only speck of food left in the entire house is a crumb that was too small even for a mouse. He then proceeds to do the exact same thing to every other house in Who-ville. This isn't a prank, it is total devastation. It is now 1:15 dawn. All the Whos are still asleep when the Grinch packs up his sled with all their ribbons, wrappings, tags, tinsel, trimmings, and trappings. He takes this massive load 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet to dump it off the top. He is standing there, freezing, just waiting to hear the misery. He says poo-poo to the Whos. He is expecting to hear them wake up, see their empty houses, and cry boo-hoo. He puts his hand to his ear, listening for the sobbing, and he hears a sound. It starts low, then it starts to grow. But here is the kicker. The sound isn't sad, it sounds merry. The Grinch literally cannot compute this. He stares down at Who-ville and pops his eyes out in shock. Every Who, tall and small, is down there singing, without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came, somehow or other, it came just the same. The Grinch stands there, his feet ice cold in the snow, puzzling for 3 hours until his puzzler is sore. He realizes that Christmas came without ribbons, tags, packages, boxes, or bags. And then he has a breakthrough. He thinks, maybe Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And folks, this is the redemption arc we were waiting for. They say that right then and there, the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. The minute his heart doesn't feel tight anymore, he whizzes back down through the morning light with all the toys and the food for the feast. He brings it all back. And in the final scene, we see the Grinch sitting at the table with the Whos. He isn't an outcast anymore. He himself, the Grinch, carves the roast beast. It is such a wild ride from pure villainy to total acceptance. It makes you realize that joy isn't about stuff, it's about community and connection. What do you think? Was the Grinch misunderstood or just really in need of a community check-in? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this recap of this classic book, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.